Donald Trump and his incoming administration of billionaire elites have absolutely no f***ing clue what real Americans like you and me are facing. Just look at how Republicans mishandled the funding bill and almost caused a government shutdown. Not to mention tried to cut $190 million from pediatric cancer research. And at Christmas time, no less.
They cut nearly $200 million in funding for, ready for this, childhood cancer research called the Gabriella Miller Kids First Pediatric Research Program. That's what they cut. That program was established on a bipartisan basis under President Obama. Former Republican leader Eric Cantor was one of the driving forces behind it. Republicans tore the funding for that program out of the bill, seemingly at random, because Elon Musk told them to. So I want to be clear about what's happened, what's transpired in the last 24 hours, okay? The richest man in the world, worth $250 billion, took $190 million away from kids with cancer. That's not hyperbole. It's not exaggeration. That is what has happened.
But also, taking money from kids with cancer? What in the actual f is wrong with Republicans? Though, considering the Trump family's history of stealing money from kids' cancer charities, this is 100% on brand for the GOP. Like usual, the Democrats had to step in and be the adult and save the day.
You know, Mike Johnson knew he was going to have a numbers problem. Yep. Because guess what? Every single CR has had to have Democrats provide the votes. That's the only reason the government has ever stayed open, is because the Democrats have provided the votes, because we've gone up on suspension. It's required 2/3 of the House, because they can't even get it through the Rules Committee. Now, I don't know what Rules is going to look like next term, whether or not the people that are consistently providing issues for him to get bills out of Rules, if they're going to be removed from Rules. Right now, Chip Roy is actually running to be the chair of the Rules Committee, which could be a huge thorn in his side, but it is the Speaker that will have to make that decision. But at the end of the day, Ali, one of the things that Elon Musk and Vivek and Trump didn't talk about is the fact that there was $90 million on basically page 1 of the legislation that is for his inauguration party. The idea that we would say it's okay for you to get $90 million for one day and then cut out $190 million for children when it comes to cancer research was absolutely mind-blowing.
Also, I'm pretty sure that Donald Trump said he would fund his transition through private money so that the taxpayer was not responsible.
Well, that's f***ing not good.
But I thank you to the democratically controlled Senate, because on their way out of the majority, they decided that they were going to do some good. They made sure that that funding got back in. They made sure that the Social Security Fairness Act was taken care of.
If it isn't obvious by now, the rich are the ones calling the shots, cutting our programs and driving up the cost of living for the rest of us. And to those who idolize wealthy people like Elon Musk or Donald Trump, I feel sorry for you, because let's be real, they couldn't care less about you. To them, you're just a vote that they can sway with empty promises and flashy distractions. Like back in August, when Donald Trump held a press conference where he stood in front of a pile of groceries which, by the way, were wasted and thrown out, using them as nothing more than a prop to campaign on.
Grocery prices have skyrocketed. How can a family afford that? So when I win, I will immediately bring prices down.
Yesterday, the Labor Department announced that year-over-year inflation reached its lowest level in more than 3 years last month.
He had his supporters all in, posting videos on TikTok bragging about how many groceries they'd be able to afford under his plan. Except now, Trump, who isn't even in office yet, has already failed to deliver on his core campaign promise of lowering the price of
groceries.
He literally told his supporters a day before the election that a vote for Trump would mean cheaper groceries. He loudly declared it like he was promising a Black Friday sale every day at the supermarket.
A vote for Trump means your groceries will be cheaper. So many people mention, I go in, so many people mention groceries at beautiful but simple word, groceries.
And now, he's admitted that he can't do anything about lowering prices, which means what we always knew to be true about Trump. He's a pathological liar who will say whatever he can to get what he wants. He dangled lower prices in front of the American people and then snatched it away, all while saying, "Psych!" Trump supporters got rug pulled faster than you can say hawk to a coin.
Economists of all stripes say that ultimately consumers pay the price of tariffs.
I don't believe
Can
it.
you guarantee American families won't pay more?
I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee tomorrow.
The president-elect is moving the goalposts on some of his pledges, like lowering the price of groceries. It's hard to bring things down once they're up, Trump says. You know, it's very hard.
I'd like to bring them down, he says. It's hard to bring things down once they're up.
Speaking on lowering the price of groceries, Trump told the magazine, it's hard to bring things down once they're up. You know, it's very hard.
He's already hedging his bets, telling Time, I'd like to bring them down. It's hard to bring things down once they're up. You know, it's very hard. Sorry, MAGA. But hey, Trump made the list as Time's Person of the Year again, so at least Trump's happy, right?
This is a complete break from tradition. Typically, a candidate, especially a Republican, makes big promises, gets elected, and then quietly doesn't follow through, hoping that voters will forget. I mean, just look at Trump's first term. It's clear that Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and the rest of the Republican Party have no real plan to tackle rising costs, unless, of course, you count cutting taxes for the wealthy, which would only make things even more expensive for the rest of us. The people who voted for Trump are in for a rough 4 years, but that's on them. Guess they should have done their own research. Though it is kind of funny, somehow these same people can find everything there is to know about Luigi Mangione, but they're just now realizing what Trump's tariffs will do to their wallets. This right here is the chaos and stupidity that the Republican Party voted for. They made their bed and now they're gonna have to lie in it. Speaking of bed, I want to thank today's sponsor, Miracle Made. Did you know that traditional bed sheets can harbor more bacteria than a toilet seat? It can lead to acne, allergies, and stuffy noses, and it's just gross. Miracle Made offers a whole line of self-cleaning antibacterial bedding, such as sheets, pillowcases, and comforters that prevent up to 99.7% of bacteria growth and require up to 3 times less laundry. Using silver-infused fabrics inspired by NASA, Miracle Made sheets are thermoregulating and designed to keep you at the perfect temperature all night long, so you get better sleep every night. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands, and feel as nice if not nicer than sheets used by some 5-star hotels. Stop sleeping on bacteria. Bacteria can clog your pores, causing breakouts and acne. Sleep clean with Miracle. Go to trymiracle.com/Gabe to try Miracle Sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo Gabe at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Gabe and use the code Gabe to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Gabe to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. Also, maybe MAGA shouldn't have blown away the disposable income from President Biden on Trump's Bibles, NFT trading cards, gold sneakers, coins, and whatever other scam he was hawking to his supporters. Because now they have less money and more to pay because of Trump's rising costs. Eventually, his supporters will realize that Trump is not going to lower their cost. What he's really doing is cutting tax for the wealthy and corporations while the rest of us get stuck with the bill. Trump flat out said it during his recent visit to the New York Stock Exchange.
We're gonna do things I think that haven't been really done before. We're gonna be cutting taxes still further. As you know, we got it down to 21%. We're gonna bring it down even below that. You pay 21 if you don't build here, and meaning your product or whatever it is you're building. And if you do, we're going to try getting it down to 15%.
I also want to point out that in the days following Trump ringing the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange, the Dow plunged more than 1,100 points, marking its longest losing streak since 1974. Look, I'm not saying it's connected, but everything Trump touches dies. Now, while at the stock exchange, Trump told a story about a woman buying apples at the grocery store, which is a flat-out lie that he told so many times on the campaign trail to seem relatable.
Prices are going to start coming down because people can't afford their groceries, and they're going to be affording their groceries very soon. I tell the story about a woman an old woman, no money, went to a grocery store, had 3 apples. She put them down on the counter, and she looked, and she saw the price, and she said, "Would you excuse me?" And she walked one of the apples back to the refrigerator and came back to pay for the 2 apples. And she left with 2 apples. And the woman at the counter said that was so sad. And when I heard about the story, I said that should never happen.
Anyone who's ever been to a grocery store knows that apples aren't stored in a refrigerator, they're sold by the pound, and you wouldn't show up to the checkout line and suddenly realize the cost. This story has more holes than the donuts at the shop where J.D. Vance awkwardly tried to look relatable.
She doesn't want to be on film, guys, so just cut her out of anything. Appreciate that, man. I'm J.D. Vance. I'm running for vice president. Good to see you.
Okay.
How long are you working?
I've been here since the beginning of July.
Okay.
For this year.
Okay, good. How about you, sir?
Almost 2 years.
Okay, good.
Seriously, is it just me, or is the Republican Party incapable of acting like a normal human in public? Just look at how awkward Tucker Carlson was in that grocery store propaganda video that he made for the Kremlin. It's almost impressive how cringy it was.
There we go. So I guess you put in 10 rubles here, and you get it back when you put the cart back. So it's free, but there's an incentive to return it and not just bring it to your homeless encampment. I'm figuring this out now. Where the wheels don't move, they lock on the grocery cart escalator. Look, Ma, no hands. Oh, come on.
These fake stories about Republicans mingling with everyday shoppers or getting way too excited about a shopping cart system that Aldi's had since 1961 perfectly highlights how out of touch Trump and the GOP are with people like you and me. This is part of a larger issue. The apathetic and out of touch billionaires that are on Trump's team are the ones pushing to cut programs like Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. We are the richest country in the world, yet the wealthy refuse to lift a finger to make things better here. They'd rather line their own pockets while slashing the programs that we rely on. Case in point, Elon Musk. So if you're pissed off that a bunch of billionaires get to decide what happens to our programs and benefits, good. Stay that way. Don't let up, because we're gonna need that same energy over the next 4 years to fight Trump's lies and his fascist policies. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the show, don't forget to follow me at I am Gabe Sanchez. Also, be sure to subscribe to the audio version of What Was That, perfect for when you're on the go or just relaxing. Catch every episode wherever you listen to podcasts. Until next time, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and this has been What Was That?